days because I was so frustrated and tired with networking events. Yeah, okay, being shy and awkward didn't help. But there had to be something more than just giving and getting business cards. You know, and association events, I've been to a ton of those. The kind where everybody pretends that they're more successful than they really are. Oh, you've been to one. Transformational weekends, they were good, but did they really have to cost thousands of dollars, and did everybody have to cry? My wife and I had gone to stand-up comedy like every week, every Wednesday in Toronto. We went stand-up comedy. And you know, we laughed, it was great, it was cathartic, we loved it. And at the end of the night, we're in the car driving home saying, what did we laugh at? Like, oh yeah, penis jokes. Now we can add uterus jokes. Or why I can't get a girlfriend. It was like junk food for, you know, laughter. It was like laughter porn. And I thought to myself, you know, I just want, you know, real people, real stories, real inspiration. I just want real. That's all I want. Now, if I'm making it sound like I masterminded a brilliant strategy, let me tell you, nothing could be further from the truth. I remember February 27, 20 minutes to 7. The show starts at 7. It's 20 minutes to get there. And I'm running out the door, and my wife says, well, why are you doing this? And I said, I don't know. Like, I just don't know. So here we are on the second floor of a tea room. 18 people in the audience, half of which are the speakers. The other half, the serving staff. There's no microphone, there's no stage, there's no backdrop, there's no audio, there's no nothing. 3 months later, they kick us out because we're not bringing enough business. We moved to a jazz bar. Now, what do they have in a jazz bar that they don't have in a tea room?
Drinks.
That's one.
Music.
You said that? That's one. They have, you know, yes, there was alcohol. That helped. That helped. There's a real stage, real microphone, real audio, real backdrop, beautiful backdrop, real lights. You know, it was a real show. But there were a couple of other things that I changed. Because 3 months in, I had seen everything I never wanted to see again. And we started putting rules in. We say no selling, no preaching, no teaching. No, you could do that somewhere else. I started asking my professional speaker friends. I said, you know, share a story that you've never told to your corporate audiences. Share something that really shows us the real you. And they started doing that. I started asking people who had never spoken on a professional stage before, but I knew they had a great story to share. That's the story we want to hear. And when I did those things, and maybe the alcohol helped too, that's when the audiences started to grow. And we got a buzz out of Toronto of this little single event where we started getting over 100 people every single month. And it was a buzz that extended kind of like the buzz that's coming out of this room tonight, all the way to Philadelphia and beyond. And about 6 months of doing that, my friend from Winnipeg calls me up. She says, Michel, I love what you're doing with MoMondays, and I want you to help me start one in Winnipeg. And I said, no, I'm not set up to start. I told you I'm not that smart. I said, I'm not set up to help anybody else do another MoMondays. And she said, Michel, you're going to help me start one here. And I said, no, I'm not. And she said, yes, you are. And I said, no, I'm not. And she said, yes, you are. I said, all right. But if we create all the systems and the infrastructure to help you set it up, we're going to open it up to other cities. And she said, absolutely, Michel, because MoMondays needs to be everywhere. We need this. And that's when we start growing. We're now in over 10 cities, depending on the month, 12 cities across Canada, which is pretty cool. We've got, how many people in the room? Over 100 people in the room here tonight. This is an amazing, will you give yourselves a round of applause? I started getting inquiries from other countries in the world. I'll never forget this. I got an inquiry from Colombia in South America, and I was so excited. I was in the kitchen when I got this email, and I told my son's right there, and he said, I said to him, Dustin, this is amazing. We're going to be in Colombia. We got an inquiry from Colombia. And he said, Dad, why do they need MoMondays? They've got cocaine. When we share our personal stories, when we share stories, something incredible happens in the human body and the human mind. We create oxytocin and dopamine. Talk about powerful drugs that we create all ourselves. We need this. The world needs this. We have been wired for personal storytelling. But more than that, I've seen the impact of MoMondays. I've seen professional speakers who have worked so hard to create a personal story for MoMondays who have told me after that it's become the most powerful and most impactful part of their corporate speech. I have seen people who just get the courage to dig into their own lives and create a story that enlightens everybody in the room. And that's what makes MoMondays MoMondays. Like, a couple just stand out in my mind. The transgender woman doesn't look like me, sounds like me, doesn't look like me at all. Sharing her story, and yet everything about her story could be my story. And everybody walking out the room knew exactly what it felt to feel different, to be different, and talk about a transformation in their lives, the courage to do that. Incredible. Another story from a painter who's told his story about seeing a stain on the carpet and working all day frantically to get rid of that stain because he thought he had made it in the painting before the painting of the house, the painting of drugs. I have to get this stain out of the carpet before the homeowner gets back. All day. Until he realizes it's the shadow from the lamp. But from that story, he gets the insight about how things are not always how they appear. I've seen stories like that. I've seen stories from all kinds of people, and every single one of them helps audience, people like you, take one message from each one that you could take home. I've seen mo-hosts, that's what we call mo-hosts, get the confidence, in some case the confidence back that they had lost. I've seen them build their business because of what they've done here on stage. I've seen them just come into their own and become kick-ass MCs and develop a part of the business that they've never had before. That is the power of MoMondays. And that is what we do here every month and every MoMondays across the country. I have seen the light that we add to the world by sharing our personal stories. Because I truly believe that every single person in this room has a story worth sharing. A story that can have an impact on somebody else and help them transform their lives in a powerful way. That is MoMondays. And that's why I say I have the best seat in the house. Thank you for being here tonight.